What's up, AtoZSports here live on a Tuesday. It is NFL trade deadline day. That will be 3 p.m. Central Time, where all the deals have to be submitted to the league office, and we will find out what else the Titans may do because they made a trade last night in a winning trade, right? Dre'mont Jones to the Ravens for a pick? How? How could it be possible? So we'll discuss that trade and how that fits in with the other two trades the Titans have already made this season, where the Titans are at with their current draft capital, because that is not confusing whatsoever. And then we'll discuss a thought that I have about the trade of Dre'mont Jones. And I'm like, why? I get what the goal is, but did they kind of like go against their goal in a little bit with this Dre'mont Jones trade? We'll discuss some other guys who might be on the move today, as we have just a few hours left before the NFL trade deadline. And then we take a blowtorch to Mike McCoy and what he did at the podium, a verbal blowtorch, not an actual one, because we're not for violence here on this show. But Mike McCoy did some dumb things at the podium yesterday. Easton, you and Paul Kaharski tag teamed him like it was the late 80s in the WWE ring. And it was great. It was fantastic entertainment. But we'll do that. Then we'll actually throw shade. So there you go. All right, let's get going here live on a Tuesday. What's up?
Yeah, what's up? You just now realizing I've got about an hour to figure out what my shade could be that will match the level of shade we're going to throw at Mike McCoy in the back half of the show. Also, breaking Titans news, Austin. The moment we went on here, the Titans have added to their practice squad former Titans, Seahawks, and Texans corner Dre'mont Callaghan. A real name, a real person, apparently. I don't know if that's not a Key and Peele sketch name. I don't know what isn't or what is. But I'm looking forward to meeting Dre'mont because I love his name. We've got a great show, Austin. I am excited about this one. A lot to talk about today. Maybe a lot to talk about tomorrow or tonight on primetime. Who knows what the day might hold, as the trade deadline is coming up at 3 o'clock. So we are a matter of hours away from, I'd imagine, some interesting things happening. I sure hope so. Make sure you're locking in on Facebook or on YouTube with us this morning by liking the show. Hit that thumbs up button for us. It is extremely helpful. It is free. It is easy. Hit the thumbs up button and then jump in the comments with Jeff and Jack, Bork and Orlando and Sean and Andre and Daniel. A lot of familiar faces. Want to hear y'all's thoughts on the Titans' moves that they have made, the moves that they may be about to make, the interim head coach that they have who continues to be frustrating. A lot to discuss. And with that, Austin, let's get it started.
The episode officially welcome to AtoZSports here live on a Tuesday. I am Austin Stanley. He is Easton Freezer, Titan reporter for AtoZSports.com. We're powered by the BTA Sports app, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. Hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Once again, the new call to action for all of you guys is to follow us on Google. Because that is a new thing Google is doing. Follow us on Google here because that helps us out quite a bit. And I've pasted the link in the chat to follow us on Google. And we thank all of you guys for doing that. But we also have to thank our sponsors because they truly make it happen for all of us. And they help out you, like Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Online in Lebanon at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs, local and online at bartondrury.com. Boterra Carts, life is short, buy a golf cart with 2 locations in Middle Tennessee, Columbia, and Gallatin. And Window Nation, take advantage of this new offer, Easton, for Window Nation. The end of year sale through November. 50% off windows, all styles, and you could get 0% financing for up to 5 years. So, hey, how about that? All right, so for whatever reason, our graphic just showed up to you guys. Easton and I have been staring at the deadline win, the Mike McCoy graphic, and the Throw and Shade graphic the entire time. But for whatever reason, it did not make its way to the broadcast platforms of YouTube and Facebook.
I did not know that. Okay.
Makes no sense, but as Ryan just texted, StreamYard does weird bleep sometimes, and that was part of the weird bleep. But because we didn't know we didn't know we didn't have a graphic until JT asked, "Hey, why isn't the graphic up there?" Because JT uploaded the graphic. So all right, thanks, so JT. Now we're gonna get going here, and we've got a lot to cover here. And Easton has a hard out at 9:20 because he made prior commitments He was not supposed to be on the show today.
I was about to say.
You were supposed to be off the show today, but
Correct.
You and Paul Kaharski properly cooked Mike McCoy in the press conference yesterday, and you have things to say about it. So
we didn't plan that, by the way. I don't want to. This was not an ambush of Mike McCoy. I planned on going in and ask.
It just wasn't premeditated.
Well, Paul was happily jumped in on the line of questioning. We'll get to it later, but you and I and JT discussed before that press conference the one and only question we were interested in hearing. I went in with that one question. I asked that one question, and then it turned into a not so good moment for the interim head coach.
No, not at all. So we'll get to that towards the end, but there was a trade that was made last night by the Titans. Dre'mont Jones, who has had at least 1 sack in 4 consecutive games, was traded to the Baltimore Ravens, the arch nemesis, the enemy, the Death Star of the Titans. But the Titans get back an actual pick. There's not a pick swap. They got back a pick, Easton. So I would like you to kind of update us on all the details of this trade, the third that Mike Borgonzi has made in season in 2025 thus far.
Yes, a very straightforward trade. The Titans are sending edge rusher Dre'mont Jones to the Ravens for a conditional 5th-round pick, which means if certain conditions are met, which are unclear at this time, actively working to uncover those. They typically are counting stat performance-based and or playing time-based. For example, last year when the Titans traded DeAndre Hopkins to the Chiefs for a conditional 5th-round pick that could have been a 4th. That one was predicated on Hopkins playing at least 60% of the snaps and playing in the Super Bowl, which is still one of the funniest conditions ever. And
he did play in the Super Bowl.
I know, but only the Chiefs.
And he did catch a touchdown in the Super Bowl.
I know, but the gall in garbage time touchdown. The gall in
so kind of my sports book.
It's true. The gall to at the trade deadline say, unless we reach the Super Bowl, this does not count. And then the other team says, okay, is astonishing. And again, only the Chiefs can pull that off. And they did, but they controlled the fact that he never played anywhere close to 60% of the snaps.
I was going to say, only the Chiefs could play chess like that.
Right. Well, and then that wasn't particularly shocking given the fact that he was joining a team that didn't like he's a supplemental piece. They didn't need him to play a super high quantity of snaps, and he's an older player. Now with Jones, if I were to speculate on what the conditions are, the conditions in these things always tend to be pretty lofty like that. Now I don't think it's going to be Super Bowl aspirations, but would I be surprised if it's like a 60% of snaps and gets 6 more pressures or 6 more sacks rather? Like it's probably a combination of performance and playing time. Something that the Ravens can control and something that the Ravens can't control. He's a younger player. He's going to, I think, be more vital to their operation than Hopkins was to the Chiefs. We keep using that example. So would I be shocked if his conditions are met? No, especially with the level of play that he's put on the last 4 weeks. Like if he hits the ground running in Baltimore, he could continue to be a useful piece for them and really put together some nice games. Yeah. But odds are these trades rarely end up meeting the conditions required. So it's probably going to end up being a 5th-round pick. The last little note I'll make is that the 5th-round pick, which we'll show in a graphic in a minute, that the Titans are getting, belonged originally to the Jets. And the Jets are with the Titans at the very bottom of the league, as demonstrated by former Titan and also tradee Jarvis Brownlee Jr. Making fun of the Titans for losing when the Jets joined them at 1-7 this 2 weekends ago. Mm-hmm. Now the Jets, I think they just had a bye, right? So they're still 1-7. Point is they have 1 win. They stand to be a top 5 pick, or top 10, whatever it is. The Titans likely get a 5th-round pick at the very, very beginning of the 5th round there because it's the Jets' pick. If they meet the conditions, it then likely becomes the Ravens' 4th-round pick. So, all of that being said, if they somehow miraculously get that 5th turned into a 4th, it's probably more like a half-round jump than a full-round jump. Something in the neighborhood of 30 to 40 pick jump instead of 70 or whatever it would be in the day 3 because there's so many additional picks in each round. So, the big news that I've buried, you did not, is that it is not a pick swap, Austin. And I know that I was not expecting any of the Titans trades besides maybe Calvin Ridley to yield a full pick, and I'm stoked that I was wrong about that. Because the Titans need more swings. And so good on Mike Borgonzi for getting a full pick and adding to their war chest.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the other thing I was going to add is like the Titans could have a chance to have like back-to-back picks in the top of the 5th round or close to it, which is around that like 138 to 140 range. is where the Titans' own 5th round pick and that Jets 5th round pick could be. So hey, how about this? I love when you guys in the comments just tee us up for graphics that we already have. So what are the Titans' current picks? How about it's a great question that you have right there. Here are the Titans' current picks, and it's not complicated at all because I Googled and Tennessee Titans 2026 draft picks, and I got to a website, and we read this website off last week at what I think it was during the middle of a show that was prosportstransactions.com, and it lists the Titans having 5 6th round picks, but a lot of them are traded, but it's very unclear which one is traded.
Actually, the way that they do it is they include all of the possible picks. So the fact that there are so many 6th round picks is reflective of the fact that we know they're getting one of the Jets' 6th round picks because they traded Jarvis Brownlee Jr. to the Jets for a 6-7 swap, right? We know that the Titans are getting one of the Jets' 6th round picks, but the Jets have a bunch of 6th round picks. They have their own, they have Baltimore's, they have Denver's, they have Buffalo's, and we don't know which one it is.
Yeah.
And we also don't know which one the Titans are then going to send to the Rams in the 5th round, 6th round swap that they made for Roger McCreary. So it could be one of those. It could be the Titans before the McCreary trade had 3 6th round picks. They had their own. They had the Rams because of the Ernest Jones trade back at the beginning of last year. And they had the one that the Jets are sending them, which is either Baltimore's, Denver's, or Buffalo's. We don't know.
Yes.
They are now sending one of those to the Rams. We're assuming it's going to be the Rams' own pick going back to the Rams because we know the Titans are sending the best, or I guess the worst, 6th round pick.
Yes.
Right, the lowest pick that they have to the Rams. So what we think is happening is that the Titans' 5th, 6th round swap that they did for Ernest Jones is just undoing with the McCreary trade. Because the Titans are getting back their own 5th, and the Rams are getting back their own 6th, we think.
Yes. So they have their own 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th now because they're getting it back. But they have 2 5ths, 2 6ths, and a 7th currently.
And a 5th that could become a 4th.
Yes. Exactly. So
and we don't know if the 7th is theirs or the Chargers, because again, the Titans have 2, and they're sending one of them to the Jets. We just don't know which one.
So is everybody clear? So we understand.
And I have reached out to the Titans this morning with that list and said, please, any clarity that you can provide or corrections to this list that you can provide, please send to me. And they are working on that. So
they currently
we will get an answer from the front office at some point as to whether or not this is right.
Currently have 9 picks, 1 in every round, and 2 5ths and 2 6ths.
Think so.
Yes. Okay. So we got that. Now, here's my question. Did they just trade a guy that could be useful for them in the future? Because I think there's something to this of Ernest Jones. Dre'mont Jones and what he provides. Because so far, the Titans have traded 3 players. They've traded Roger McCreary and Jarvis Brownlee Jr., 2 cornerbacks who were not selected by the current general manager, Mike Borgonzi. Dre'mont Jones signed a 1-year contract this offseason by general manager Mike Borgonzi. And he's been productive with a capital P. 4.5 sacks in the last 4 games. He's been on a different type of level. He is an expiring contract guy. And you and I kind of brought this up. I brought this up on the pregame.
21 pressures, I think. 26
19 pressures, which 19 pressures would lead the Baltimore Ravens defense.
Now does, technically.
Now does lead the Baltimore Ravens defense. So I brought this up about Chikakonkwo on Sunday morning's pregame show of why not keep him, extend him. You've got money to spend, and you have to spend it. You have so many holes to fill. You know you've got a developmental edge rusher in Femi Oladipo, who's currently on injured reserve, who you're invested in. Arden Key's on an expiring contract, and he's hurt currently. Why not keep Dre'mont Jones to help your production and to be a part of your defense next year? So that leads me to ask this question. Which would be more valuable to the Titans? This 5th round pick that might be jumping up a few spots into the end of the 4th round, or re-signing Dre'mont Jones for the future? Which would be more valuable to the Titans? A high 5th round pick. So a pick like if it jumps up in the 4th round, it's maybe going 15 spots?
Yeah, I haven't done the math on it, but it would be
not that much.
And a half a round at most.
At absolute most. So which is more valuable? The 5th round pick that you got, pick 141, or re-signing Dre'mont Jones, who has 4.5 sacks in the last 4 games for this defense, to be a part of your team and a part of your locker room moving forward. So we'll get to the comments here in a second. I will do what I do best, which is set up YouTube polls. But Easton, tell us about the Bone and Joint Institute.
Is that at the top of your resume? What I do best, YouTube polls.
I love YouTube polls.
You do, and we love you for
Take that for data.
That's right. The region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine is the Bone and Joint Institute. Check them out at boneandjointtn.org. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who to trust, and we trust our friends at BJI. They are located in Franklin with over a dozen specialists who can help you through any type of injury. They have a state-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help you recover. They do everything under one roof for your convenience. No traipsing around town to different facilities. No, the clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, and rehab all in one place. Schedule an appointment with them today at boneandjointtn.org.
That's right. BTA Sports is better for bettors. They helped me win a bet with Titans plus 9.5 against the Chargers on Sunday. People might think that would be a crazy thing to do, but BTA Sports believed in it the whole time. And so we'll see what BTA Sports has on deck for this upcoming NFL slate with the Titans on a bye and a lot of trades to happen. But if you want projections and models and up-to-date numbers for player props, over-unders, fantasy IQ, if you're a fantasy football player, a daily fantasy player, BTA Sports is perfect for that to build your lineup each and every week. And you can download the app using the link in our show description on YouTube and the Facebook title, and then use the code ATOZ14. You get a 14-day free trial before a $9.99 weekly subscription. You're going to win your money back. All it takes is winning one bet, and you've made your money on that weekly subscription. Or you can go $99 for the annual pass, which is what I did back in week 1. I made my money back by week 2. It was really that quick of a turnaround, and you get that through the next 12 months. So that includes not just this NFL season, but the next NFL season through the day you signed up with BTA Sports Better for Bettors. Easton, to the chat, I send you, which is more valuable for the Titans? The high 5th round pick that they just got for Dre'mont Jones, or potentially re-signing Dre'mont Jones for the future, who has 4.5 sacks in the last 4 games, but now is a Baltimore Raven because they traded him.
Did we send this question in the chat?
I put it on YouTube, but I mean, people answered it. I don't know if that.
Yeah, I'm usually look for the question in the chat.
Did you paste it? That would be your job.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll review that.
But people did answer it. I did.
They did. I'm just trying to find out where they started because there's a lot of good chatter this morning in the comments. Okay, so here, and again, I apologize that we don't have screen names still. YouTube, get your act together.
I don't get it.
AtoZSports, I have no idea. AtoZSports says the trade is what is more valuable. Right, that was the question. What's more valuable?
Which is more valuable? The high 5th round pick, like pick 140, or Dre'mont Jones on this defense next year?
So we've got one vote for the trade being more valuable, although Max comes around and says the Jones for the future is more valuable. Dak says it's the pick, the trade, the pick as bait to get more picks, so the pick as ammo to get a better pick is what Tall Texan believes. The draft pick is more valuable. The 5th round pick, the pick. So early returns are saying that it's the pick, although some people certainly agree that re-signing Jones, because you already know what he is, could be more valuable. Jack says he's going to big brain you, the pick, sign Dre'mont back. I'm seeing a lot of this. Why not just get the pick and then Dre'mont is another free agent and you sign him again in the spring?
I mean, that's hey, Jack, not a bad thought process.
I mean, not technically possible. Does the guy that you just traded away want to just then come right back? I don't know. Imagine they sign him again and then they trade him again, and then you just keep dispensing of Dre'mont Jones to teams that need him. Because next year the Titans could be in the exact same situation for all we know. These low picks don't matter to Vanessa Coria. She does not care one bit if it's a day 3 pick. Resigning Jones is more valuable. So we're pretty split. People saying, the late round pick could be anything. It could even be a Dre'mont Jones, which is the typical line for when we talk about these kinds of things. So people are coming around. Jones, re-sign Dre'mont Jones. It's more split the further I go down the list here.
That's where I'll jump in. That's where I'm at. I'm at re-signing Dre'mont Jones because, again, like the whole thing is resetting this culture, resetting this play style that this front office, this GM wants. Mm-hmm. And you're playing so many young players that just frankly don't know how to play a full 60-minute game on Sundays. And they don't know how to do it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually have a veteran who is productive, who you brought in, you picked him to come in as a 1-year deal in a free agency. Sure, I get that. He's 28 years old. He turns 29 right after the first year, early January birthday. So he's still in a good prime, but he's caught in his stride with this defense and made plays for you. I would think you would want that guy in your locker room to help you build out what you're trying to do with your vision, right? Like they want bigger bodied edge players, not like the Arden Key edge player. And I just think it would have made a lot of sense to keep Dre'Mont Jones. A 5th-round pick is a nice piece. But I think a veteran guy who has shown that he can play here is what you're looking for in the first place. And you had him and you just trade him away for a who knows.
So I don't think it's crazy thought process on your part. I'm on the other side.
He's also not going to break the bank either, right? Like,
well, so that's where my train of thought picks up on your train of thought, Austin, is that I think you have to consider the intent, both when they signed him in the spring and also what they're kind of thinking about now for the future. And while it, generally speaking, I'm with you on the, you need some veteran tent poles. You need guys that know how to play, know how to win, all of these things. And that's important. And obviously, it's just morbidly funny for Denard Wilson. Once again, Denard Wilson just keeps getting the short straw, man, over and over and over, basically his whole time here in Tennessee. Every time he has a player work out for him, start to really elevate his unit, he's either taken away by the injury gods or he's taken away by the front office. I mean, it was Ernest Jones, and then it was Quandre Diggs, and then they had an entire offseason where they could have signed a bunch of help for him, and they didn't really go spend big on anybody. And one of the guys that they spent the biggest on was a 1-year, $10 million contract, who they now traded away again. 2 starting corners. You like those guys? Get those guys out of here. So it's just tough for Denard Wilson. But when I look at Dre'Mont Jones's past, what he got this spring, he got a 1-year, double-digit AAV $1 million deal after being a pretty, I wouldn't say big, a definitive disappointment on the contract that he signed in Seattle. And when I look at his numbers, he is now halfway through this year at or surpassing his own production last year as a Seahawk, the production that got him a 1-year, $10 million deal. And I don't think that the Titans are looking at this and saying, well, if he doubles his numbers this year, or if he 1.5x's his numbers, this is a guy that's going to get more money and more years on a contract. Like, this is a guy that's going to require more money. He's going to be a free agent, so we're not going to have the rights to bring him back. This is a thing that we all tend to seem to forget.
I get that, but
you don't get to just bring a guy back because you want him back. It's a two-way street.
This is not, he's not a restricted free agent where you kind of control him a little bit. I get that, but isn't the goal to get good football players?
Yeah.
Dre'Mont Jones is a good football player who you signed, he's
had a good month.
Hey, he's a good football player.
Yeah, I mean, is he like a tentpole guy that's going to be like what is Dre'Mont Jones going to be for you each year? You're at best he's a fine 2, right? You still need a
absolutely great.
Yeah.
Which this team doesn't have a fine 1. So again, there's no harm. You are rebuilding. You need some veterans who know how to win on Sunday. Winning being like a rep on 3rd down, right? Winning their game. And Dre'Mont Jones has been winning. He has put together 4 consecutive games of a sack streak. Somebody in the chat said, "Oh, he wasn't doing anything until he met the Chargers line." No, he had 3 sacks in 3 games, and the Chargers line came in. They got hurt, and he had a sack and a half on Sunday.
No, he's playing good ball.
He almost had more sacks. Like, there was a couple of times like he is 19 hurries this season.
Mm-hmm. Let me get to my last point, just to kind of put a bow on this. Again, thinking about intent, thinking about planning. So I bring up the fact that he is ideally a fine 2 for a team, right? And that's where he's probably best slotted in. I think when we consider what this team's plan is for the future, again, both in terms of draft picks and money, I think that's what they see Femi Oladejo as there too. And I think this team fully intends on going and swinging big on an edge player, probably in the first round this upcoming year. So if they go get a premium edge who's going to be their one, who's cost controlled, and they already spent a premium pick on Femi Oladejo, who they're hoping to become their two, they're probably thinking, well, we don't want to spend $16 million AAV on Dre'Mont Jones to be our three. Like that just doesn't, the math doesn't work out there in terms of appropriate spending. They probably think we can get a Dre'Mont Jones guy or a guy that's 85% of Dre'Mont Jones in free agency, just like they did buying low on Dre'Mont Jones this spring for a more appropriate number than Draymond's inflated number is going to be after the good year that he's putting together.
Sure. And again, I do think this trade is a win. Like this is a winning trade by the Titans because they acquired a full pick. They did not pick swaps. I don't want to get too far away from that because it was a good trade. I just think that there is some point where the locker room sees a front office saying, we picked this guy because he fits what we want to be. He played well. He was productive. We re-signed him. Here's an example. Here's a standard on how to play our type of football. And it's not going to break the bank. You have nothing else that's really going to break the bank. The Titans in this stage. I don't think you can
say that right now. It's not going to break the bank. He's going to get a multi-year $12 to $14 million AAV contract.
Okay.
I'm not saying they can't afford that, but again, let's play fortune teller. We flash forward to next spring. What do you feel is better business? The Titans have a first round edge and a second round edge and somebody in free agency that they signed on a Dre'Mont Jones-esque mercenary 1 year, $9-10 million deal who can be your two as a stopgap or your three if the two young guys work out, or the exact same situation, but you have Dre'Mont Jones who you're paying on a 2 or 3 year deal 14 AAV. Again, it's about, and as Max in the comments says, can you have too many good edge players? I'm not saying they don't need to now fill that gap. What I'm saying is they probably think every single year there are Dre'Mont Jones-esque guys who can be mercenary deals. That's the other thing, Austin. You say, what is that? What is the signal to the locker room? And generally, I agree with you. But there were no bones made about the fact that they went and signed Dre'Mont to be a mercenary. You don't give a guy a 1 year, $10 million deal because you believe in him as the future of your team.
No, I'm not saying.
You do that because you need a guy this year to fill the hole.
And
they'll do it again next year.
I'm not trying to really blow up this huge contract down the future. Like, I'm not trying to do that. I think, and Bork saying, Austin's not acting like Jad Ward isn't still on the team. He's on a 1 year deal too.
Another guy. Yeah.
And so, totally. But I think I just think there's value into a guy who has come in and done what you want to be a standard, an example to keep around. And he's a veteran guy that knows how to do it.
And I disagree with you, but the points that you're making, this is not a home run. Obviously the trade is more valuable to me. I think the argument can be made. And I think I side with the argument that I think the front office is making, that while it would be nice to keep a guy around who's productive, who's a veteran, like all of the things, the point that you're making, there is value to having the guy on your team and trying to retain him. I think that there is more value to really betting on yourself to go and find another Dre'Mont Jones-esque player who is cost controlled both in terms of years and money, who can be your 2 or 3 next year because you're going to go and get a premium edge.
I think here's my big thing is there are so many pieces, so many holes that this team has to acquire. Like I say about Cam Ward. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can make that throw down the field, back shoulder to Van Jefferson on the sideline over the cornerback, 30 yards down the field. You can. You have the ability to make that, but why make it that hard? Right? Like,
well, I think you and I disagree on the difficulty of replacing Dre'Mont Jones then, because I don't think this was some master stroke signing on their part.
I'm not saying it's difficult to replace Dre'Mont Jones. I just think it was a piece that was working. It was an example on, you have a hard offseason ahead of you. There's so many things you have to do. If you feel good about this one piece and it's working and it's successful in-house right now, then keep it and take it off your plate of things you have to replace. It's
right,
just
but if the proposition is overpaying that piece because they have overproduced, then
you have nobody. Who else are you paying? Like you do have to spend some money on some people, and you're not trying to.
They're gonna have to add like 30 players next year. They're not gonna have a problem spending enough money to get under the required. And
again,
minimum,
I would rather
million.
Sign somebody, re-sign somebody that worked here in your system that you picked in the first place to keep him here, rather than go take a flyer on somebody who you think could.
You would rather do that if it's going to take a multi-year commitment and a clear overpay?
It doesn't matter. Like you're
It does matter.
You're going to sign somebody who's going to be overpaid too.
But Austin, this is exactly the thinking that got Rand Carthon in trouble when he tried to buy a team. It's like, well, we got money to spend. Who cares how much we overpay for guys? It is. You still have to be. You still have to be wise with the amount of money you're giving to guys.
Yeah, but I'm not saying Dre'mont Jones isn't getting a Bud Dupree free agent contract. Like, come on, like he's
going to demand an overpay. He's earned an overpay.
He would probably get an Arden Key contract, 3 years, $35 million. Right, Arden Key got 3 for 27 or something like that.
Oh yeah, you're probably. I mean, it'd be in that neighborhood, I'd imagine.
Who cares? Like that's not hurting anything.
Clearly, the Titans care because they think they can go get another. Okay, anyway, here's the other thing. How old is Dre'mont Jones?
He'll be 29 in January.
Yeah, so this is a position that we see an age cliff with when you hit the wrong number. I just think that you
need veterans. You need people that can help your younger
what I'm saying
players.
Is they're gonna go get another veteron who's cheaper.
From the outside that they have to bring in again and figure out if it fits. And again, like I'm trying.
And they did it with 2 guys this year, and they've been the best 2 pass rushers on the team. Like the bar is low.
We've gone. They've
been the best 2 guys.
We've gone in circles around it. So currently, right now, the YouTube poll has 77% say the high 5th round pick is more valuable than re-signing Dre'mont Jones.
I'm surprised by that. Usually
they're
very
very split.
Day 3.
Very split. So. We can move forward on that, but we do have a conversation to get to because Dre'mont Jones had a very positive exit message out the door. We're going to get to that here in a moment, but first, I'm going to tell you guys about our friends at the Barton Drury Insurance Group. Customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. BartonDrury.com is the website, whether you're looking for your personal insurance, health coverage, whether it's your home, your auto, rental, umbrella policies, they got you covered there. If you're trying to do long-term financial planning, they have 401k benefits and help in that planning too. If you're an employer like Zach and I looking to help you take your business to the next level, they can help you out just as they have with us with our workers' comp policy and our employee health coverage plans as well. Barton Drury Insurance Group, they are local to the Mid-State area. They are real people. They will jump on a Zoom, a phone call. They respond to emails very promptly. They will text you if you need them. They are right there for you, and that's a great asset to have for an insurance company. It is open enrollment season usually this time of year, so make sure you keep your options open. You can go save some money in other places, and check them out at bartondrury.com.
Austin, guess how old I turn in 6 days?
You'll be 26.
You know what that means.
Bye-bye mom and dad's coverage.
That is legally how that works. So guess who's taking part in the open enrollment this year?
Bingo.
This guy.
Hey.
Hooray. We're also brought to you by AtoZSports. Better for bettors. Check them out. Link in the description. Get a 14-day free trial to make your money back with AI, machine learning analytics to inform your betting. AtoZSports.
All right,
yeah, I'm
so
really not looking forward to that, if you can't tell.
Yeah, people are like, 26, that explains a lot, says Andre.
How old do people think I am?
You can grow a beard. Like
half the time, I think half the time they see my beard and think I'm 30, and then half the time they hear me talk and think I'm 20.
Yeah, it took me 35 before I could grow a beard. So, and then people are like, "You're 35?" I'm like, yeah, thank you, appreciate that. Look, Nero says, "Thanks, you're 33." If you guys want to guess how old you think we are, even though we just told you, you can do that if you feel like it. All right, so Dre'mont Jones did have a positive message. He will be 29 in January. So Dre'mont Jones says the NFL's too crazy. This is him quote tweeting the news of his trade. The NFL is too crazy, LOL. Thank you, Titans family. I loved and appreciated my short time in Nashville too much. Cam is the truth to y'all. Cam is the truth too. Y'all give him time. He can be great. Ready to be a Raven, rocking that purple and black Ravens flock. So Cam is the truth too. Give him time. He can be great. And he loved his time as Nashville. So for the Jacks in the chat out there,
bring him back.
Dre'mont Jones can come back. The Titans get a 5th round pick from the Ravens, and Dre'mont Jones re-signed because his Titans Nashville experience was too short and he loved it. Hey, doors open, right?
Can you imagine that conversation? Dre'mont, listen, we got an opportunity to get a full pick out of you. It's going to be a win-win, right? We need the pick. You're going to go play. Just enjoy Baltimore, right? Better team. You're going to get to compete. Maybe you get to play in the playoffs this year. Be good for you. You'll enjoy it more than being here, I promise. And then we'll get you right on back. Don't keep that lease you've got on the apartment here in Nashville. Come January, come February, just come on back home. And handshake deal.
Wink and nod. We'll talk to you after the season. I got your agent's number.
Right, we're going to spend that pick on somebody to make your life even easier. Don't you worry about it.
Yeah. So look, but the whole Cam part of it, right? What do we think about that? Because did that message not feel different than? I mean, he was like, "Hey,
typical,
different than typical, right?"
Yeah. He went out of his way to make a point there.
Yes.
Now consider the inverse. Like, who's going to be like, by the way, whew, now that I'm free of this team, y'all messed up with that first round pick.
No, but it's like, hey, appreciate the tight. Thanks for the love. Had a great time in Nashville.
Right.
Peace out. But like throwing that, hey, Cam's the truth, guys. Give him time. He can be great.
It's meaningful.
He didn't have to say that.
No.
Like, he meant that.
He did.
He wouldn't say that and not mean it.
Right. Well, and that's always interesting. Like I have chatted some with people in the past and in the present who have either left a team or been fired from a team. And it's always interesting to be like, okay, well, now that you're no longer like going to be running the company line on anything, like, what do you actually think about this? What do you actually think about this? And that's one of my favorite conversations to have with players and coaches and people in this industry. And sometimes it's like, there's the truth. Yikes. You hadn't been saying that while you were under the employee of the team. And now I know. And then sometimes it is the most meaningful message you can get from somebody for them to be like, no, that part's real, man. Like, this guy's really the truth. And so when a guy that's no longer with the Titans, and I think there'll be a number of instances where this can happen because the Titans are in so much turmoil and going to turn over. Like, what do you really think about the quarterback? For them to, so far, all I've heard is, no, he'll be good if they don't mess him up. But this guy's, don't give up on him yet. Don't give up on him yet. And so that is, I think, encouraging for Titans fans who don't have a whole lot to be encouraged by right now.
It also makes me realize that Dre'mont Jones and probably everybody else in that locker room is super aware of what's happening outside the locker room, what's being said, right? And that's, we're all sitting here. Is Cam a bust? Is Cam going to be it? Like, what does he have to think? There's been so many too early conversations about that. Now, I can say my antennas are up on Cam Ward. He's got fumbling problems. He's got all these things he's got to figure out.
Right. We know you're out already, but the rest of us.
Come on. Don't. No, I'm not out already. My antennas are up. I'm not out.
You're not out already. You just think he's bad at football, right?
At the current time, he is not consistently good at football.
Okay. Just trying to figure out where we're at. That's all.
He's too many stinky moments.
Bad player. Per Austin.
Average player. Average players. This team has more average players than typical rosters.
Average player, no future. Right?
No, as a rookie, he's an average player. God, quit baiting me into this. I'm going to talk about engagement baiting in my shade, so you should get ready for that for the end of the show. So
I'm just trying to trap you.
Yeah, right. Let's quickly jump into this because the NFL trade deadline, it's 8:50 Central-ish. We got 30 minutes before Easton's got his heart out for his special appointment on radio that I've already appeared on this morning. Out of reaction.
Basically A to Z overtime. Check us out on terrestrial radio after this.
Yeah, no. So next guy out, right? There's just a few hours. There's 6 hours left, just over 6 hours before the trade deadline. So you got to get things in before 3 p.m. Central.
Right.
Do we want to go predictions? Do we want to say who's out?
Yeah.
Let it fly. Roll it.
Let it fly.
Predictions. Okay. Predictions. Who
and
gets
one
traded?
Of the options, by the way, is nobody. They could be done.
I want names on who gets traded, or it could be a nobody. Mm-hmm. So we'll do that. But first, Easton, tell everybody about Botero Carts.
Botero Carts, the place you gotta visit here in Tennessee if you are looking to buy a golf cart. And life is short, so go and buy a golf cart. They're a locally owned and operated business here in Middle Tennessee with 2 locations to serve you in Columbia or in Gallatin. 0% financing for 36 months. That's 3 years for those of you keeping track at home. Their carts start at just under $6,800. They're open every day of the week. They're a full-service sales and rental dealership. Again, locally owned and operated. No dealer fee, no credit card fees. There's even a no credit needed option. If that's something that you're interested in, check them out. Get a golf cart. Who doesn't want a golf cart? I want a golf cart. Do it with our friends at Botero Carts.
Also, BTA Sports, like I said earlier, use the code ATOZ14 after clicking on the link in the Facebook chat, Facebook title, and the YouTube description. Use that code ATOZ14. You get a 14-day free trial, guys. It really is good. The models, the projections, what they do with their with whether it's a spread, a total, player props for fantasy as well. They got you covered across the entire league. The best way to use BTA Sports is maybe you feel good about two things in the NFL and you want a third leg for that parlay. That's where you go find BTA Sports. Say, okay, what has like a 65% chance to hit? That's my third leg. That's how I win on my sports book. They're here for you and against Vegas, just like we are with BTA Sports, to hook them up right there. So I've been favoriting comments to keep track of things. So I'll run through that. So who gets traded? That's our prediction right now. Who is out at the end of the trade deadline window that is just over 6 hours away? Titans Kyle says Chig. Curtis says, I hope it's Spears.
That'd be off the board, wouldn't it?
Yes. Cap says trade Snead and Ridley. Well, Snead's on injured reserve, so that's not going to happen. And Calvin Ridley has a vote there. Let's see. This name
technically, listen, there has been one trade already this year for a guy that is on IR, so it could happen. It doesn't ever happen, but we somehow already did it once this year. The Patriots sent what's his face to the Saints early in the year.
Al Duggar? Oh.
No, the receiver out of Washington, second-year player. They drafted him 2 years ago, and now Chat's going to know who I'm talking about. The third of the receivers for Michael Penix in his time at Washington.
Was it Polk?
Yeah, Jalen Polk. Yeah.
Okay. You got Chig votes flying in here. Jason says Ridley is out. Now, Mr. Clean says they're paying Chig. Keep him around. No. Bork goes off the board. Sebastian Joseph Day.
Sebastian was one of the guys that we talked to yesterday, and Sebastian's a good time getting at the podium, just a cool hang. And then afterwards, and I'm not sure this has ever happened where he's come to the podium. So I think he was just like formally meeting everybody. But afterwards, he was like shaking all our hands, and we're all like, is this goodbye? Like, hello, goodbye? And he was like, oh, no, I'll be around. Now, I think he was joking. No, I think he was joking, but it was like huh?
Well, you don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
Ridley, Jax's Key and Wards. Just all the edge players gone. More Key, another Ridley. Tony Pollard gets a vote. Eric says, I think they're done. Cody Barton is being traded from Mr. Clean.
No
Chris
shot.
says Chig and says Tony Pollard is gone. And then Tall Texan says that Paul Karski said no one else is getting traded. I guess we'll find out the legitimacy of those sources. So
that was not a source to take from Paul, by the way.
Was it just an opinion?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to fully put words in Paul's mouth. Maybe he was winking and nodding there, but I mean, I talked to Paul about this yesterday. This is just how he felt. We were talking about how many trades they make, and yesterday he was like, I think they make one. It's probably one of the edge guys, and that's it. So I think he was just reiterating the fact that, all right, there it was. I won't be in the way he said it. He said, I won't be surprised if they make no more trades. So if it was winking and nodding, it was really, really deep underwater winking and nodding by Paul. But I can say that his opinion has been that. So yeah. I don't think that was a sourced thing. But also, Joshua, I agree with him, by the way. I also would not be surprised.
Joshua says, Austin, do we need some 5-star Google reviews? No, we follow us on Google. I just put the link in the chat. So follow us on Google. And then Bubba says, does Austin realize how stupid he sounds when he talks? Nope, I do not. So
usually I get that.
Easton, what's your opinion? So you say no more trades? You feel good about that? You think they're done?
No, I don't feel good about it. But then you say, okay, well then who's it going to be? My gut says, I mean, I wrote the kind of the dream trade deadline scenario article yesterday, which you can still go check out because it's 1/3 correct. I said that they would trade Dre'mont Jones, and they did. That is just going to somehow hit jackpot. Then they'll also trade Chig and Ridley. Those are the two guys that I talked about in there. Those are the guys that come to mind for me. I don't know. It's two things, Austin. One, we had some mentions of Arden Key in the chat right there. How would you feel if they moved another edge guy? Because at some point you got to field a roster.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arden Key. I don't think it matters. I mean, if you're not bringing them, like Arden Key's not being brought back next year. That is a foregone conclusion. So, and he's hurt. He hasn't been around. Yeah, he hadn't played in 3 or 4 weeks. So
we wouldn't be critical of the fact that they're literally selling their entire edge room. It's like, well, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah,
I wouldn't. I'm just curious if folks would be like, you sold 2 of them?
I mean,
which they did.
They sold 2 corners. I mean,
but we kind of did that though, right? We were like,
Denard Wilson
who's going to play now?
No more hair, right? He's just like, I'm just gonna.
He might resign today. I mean, I would. Okay, but that brings me to my second point. You say foregone conclusion he's not coming back. The Chig thing, or really with anybody on this roster that is on an expiring contract and or we feel good about them not bringing back. Like if they don't move Chig today, which I kind of lean they won't, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe the Green Bay situation, somebody's desperate. Do we feel like that really tells us something about their intentions? Like, will we be surprised if they don't move a guy like Chig and then also promptly have no interest in re-signing him in the new year? And if that happens, then we're like, why didn't you move him?
Yeah, I think the easy answer would be, well, we wanted to keep him here for Cam remaining right. 8 games. That's the easy for any offensive player that is not back next year. That is the line.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm okay with that line. I'm okay with that line. But I'm also very much on board with re-signing, not just automatically re-signing Chig, but like exploring that very seriously.
Well, making an offer, being like, here's what we would like to pay you. Please come back.
Yes. Because you need multiple tight ends. Chig has yak ability. He can clearly help. He's a good talent. He's a good locker room guy. He's made it work, and he's a smiling face in a droomy, glary day.
Droomy, you say?
Droomy. Mm-hmm. That's what the Titans locker room is.
And dreary and gloomy, all in
Correct.
one?
All in one. Exactly what I meant to say.
That sounds rough.
So
what's your?
He always asks the one-word question. If you could just combine 3 words and create your own dream,
I like dreamy.
It's easier to do that.
Write that down. Maybe we get that added to the dictionary. We can start a campaign. So my official answer is I'm gonna say no one, but I don't feel good about it. What is your answer?
I think the same thing.
Okay. So they finished their drafts or their trade season with Brownlee, McCreary, and Jones.
Dre'mont. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
So
Rashid says there's no market for Pollard.
There is a market though. No, there is. There's 1,000% a confirmed market for Pollard. I don't think that they would take what people are offering for Pollard. We talked about that the other day.
Yeah.
Let's flip the question on its head real quick, Austin. Fortune teller, they do trade one more guy. Who is it?
There's no T'Vondre Sweat mentioned in this segment.
I mean, he's still technically on the board.
I'm kind of thinking T'Vondre Sweat because they're getting calls, right? There's a little bit of demand.
Sure. I'm gonna say my inner voice keeps telling me this is the answer. My brain says this is a dumb answer, but I'm just gonna go with my gut. Is Calvin. Don't ask me to justify it. That's what my heart says. Yeah,
and I think there's demand there. So I think that's a fair answer. So, but I expect.
And if he wasn't hurt, I'd feel way better about it. You know what I mean?
Here's something, and this is kind of a projection. What does it mean that they pre-scheduled the Mike Borgonzi press conference tomorrow morning?
I'm glad you asked this. Because I want a chance to clarify it. The timing of that announcement yesterday, I really can promise to everybody, it has no bearing on what they are or aren't going to do today. We have been asking as a media corps for a chance to speak with Mike for well over a month now, dating back to the Jarvis Brownlee Jr. trade.
Yeah.
And Titans PR, I mean, they talked out loud with us about it last week. They were like, hey, we think that a good inflection point will be after the trade deadline. Like, that makes sense. So we're going to see if we can get that set up for you guys. Just heads up. We'll let you know if that comes to fruition. And then yesterday they said, yep, we're going to do it 10 a.m. on Wednesday. That has been PR planning this. It has no bearing on, like, the front office didn't come to PR and say, hey, we need a chance to speak to these people on Wednesday. PR has been working on this for a month. So
fair enough. Good answer. Yeah, good answer.
Now, it may also happen to be because they sell the team today. Who knows?
Yeah, because T'Vondre Sweat gets moved for a 5th-round pick and everybody's pissed, right? I don't know.
I'm not saying it definitely means nothing. I'm saying they don't have anything to do with each other.
It's not okay. Fair enough. All right. So you and Paul Kaharski tag teamed Mike McCoy in the ring and made him in a blender, and he was clearly had no idea what to do. We will play that video coming up in a second. But first, I want to tell you guys about our friends at Window Nation. Window Nation is here, and in November, they have a new deal. I know it says buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free on the graphic. I've got to update the new graphic here in a moment, but they have a new deal for November. It is 50% off all Windows styles for the entire month of November for their end-of-year sale, and you could get up to 5 years, 0% financing. That is crazy. Possibly 5 years of 0% financing for Window Nation. Our Window Nation windows are coming later on this month.
That's basically forever.
About that. Yeah, it's a long time. It's a really long time for 0% financing to pay off your windows, and like 50% off. Like, you're saving thousands and thousands of dollars. Thousands of dollars. You're upping the value of your home. You're increasing the quality of living in your home. The windows that we have coming in, we have the old metal grade windows that, if it's cold outside, it gets cold on the windows and colder inside because of the windows. Same vice versa if it's hot. And also, we're going to have more light because our window bracket, the frames are going to be thinner. So we get more window, which is great for that sunlight, makes you feel better. That natural sunlight's a big deal for our happiness. So windownation.com is where to go. Get a free estimate to have them come by your house for absolutely nothing to show you the presentation, a 50-point inspection, and measuring so it's perfect for you year-round at windownation.com.
We're also brought to you by BTA Sports, better for bettors. Check them out in the link in our description for a 14-day free trial courtesy of AtoZSports. It's going to get you access to the app and all of the juicy information to inform your bets and win some money. BTA Sports dominating the game.
All right, so Easton, I will let you set the table for this video because Mike McCoy was asked by you and Paul Kaharski about quarterback sneaks. I blew a gasket in the post-game show because they did not run a quarterback sneak on either third or fourth down on the goal line for a chance to take a 4-point lead against the Chargers at home when you have not won a home game in now over 12 months. So please, if you could, set the stage on how you got to this point, and then we'll do it.
So I went into that press conference wanting to only ask one question. And it's funny, I was giving some of the rest of the guys on the beat a hard time because they tend to give me a hard time for not wanting to be at every single Titans home game because they're like, well, why can't you don't want to be there to ask your own questions? And my response is always, you guys do such a good job. Like you always ask all the questions that I want to have asked. So I don't, working smarter, not harder. I let you guys ask them. On Sunday was like the first time that I can remember where I was like, God, why didn't they ask this question at the post-game press conference? They sort of asked it, but I didn't like the way they asked it. And so I went into this one wanting to ask, what I wanted to say was, why do you guys seem uncomfortable running Cam Ward on a quarterback sneak? But that's not a very smart way politically to ask a question in terms of getting a good answer because that sets the answerer up to be defensive. So the way that I ended up framing it was, how did I frame it? When you guys need a yard on offense, why is quarterback sneak not your go-to option? And that was the first question that I asked, which you're going to hear Mike McCoy's answer to. The follow-up being, okay, but a lot of teams in the NFL, I mean, most of them, when they need a yard, their go-to is a quarterback sneak because, Austin, I don't know if you know this, the quarterback sneak is the most effective play in football in terms of success rate. Getting what you're trying to get with it, no play comes close to being more effective than a quarterback sneak. It is that successful. So why is it not you all's go-to? And then there are a number of follow-up, which I think you can hear, or actually JT subtitled for us. So here's the exchange.
When your offense needs a yard, why isn't sneaking the ball with Cam your first consideration?
That's always a consideration. There's plenty of plays you have in your playbook, going to your game plan. Some weeks you use that, some weeks you don't.
With plenty of teams around the league, that is their go-to in that spot. Why is it not for you all?
We go in each week and say this is what we think is best to do in this situation.
So you are comfortable sneaking with Cam?
Yes.
How often have you guys called it since you've taken over?
I don't have the sneak. I don't have exact numbers in the whole year and things like that.
You feel like you've done it?
We got it in a plan. We can always do it.
In the plan, but have you used it?
No. In a game, we haven't used it in a game.
Well, what good is it if you're using it in practice? If you're not using it in
Well, there's
game?
a number. Okay.
Of course, we're asking about game.
Yeah.
I could see Paul Kaharski's face where he goes, well, what good is it when you use it in practice? He's got that smile that he has. Because
Trying real hard not to be a jerk about it.
Like,
but
but he's like, no, but it's just like, coach, like, who gives a damn what you do in practice? Like, like, talking about practice, not a game.
Well, that's when he started to panic. He asked multiple questions in response. Yeah. He was like, they were like, how many times have you called it? And he was like, the sneak? Yeah, man. That's what we've been talking about.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
We're pretty firmly on the sneak thing. And then he's like, what? Called it in a game? Yeah, coach. I'm gonna start asking every question by starting out with, coach, in a game, have you all yada yada yada. Just so we're crystal clear on we're talking about the real stuff. Not the practice. If I mean practice, I promise I will ask, hey, in practice, do you guys yada, yada, yada? But this is awful. And it is an encapsulation of how bad Mike McCoy is. He has been a very, very no good, very bad choice for interim on a professional level. He makes our jobs more difficult. I find a number of the ways that he conducts himself at the podium, like, he's not actually disrespectful, but there are a number of answers where I feel like he is not respecting our intelligence as members of the beat, to be honest with you. Yeah. Like, it is what it is.
He talks to you guys like you guys just got here when he became the interim coach. Like, you haven't been here the whole time. Yeah.
He is not explicitly disrespectful. I don't want to levy too harsh an allegation, but he answers questions at least once every press conference in a way that is not respectful to our intelligence, and that bothers me. I have an issue with that. He's doing everything opposite of what you want in an interim coach, both on and off the field. On the field, you'd think the interim's going to come in and like, really, let's try some things. Not trying anything. It's all the same. Off the field, you'd think he's going to loosen some things up and like try to, massage the narrative, the media, the fan understanding. No, we're gonna ratchet everything down. I'm gonna give the most non-answer of all non-answers. I'm gonna swing the total opposite of what Brian Callahan, even to the dying end of his tenure, from his biggest detractors, would still on a weekly basis get responses to questions that he would answer on social media and be like, man, this is such a good answer from a coach that I hate. I wish I every week I'd see, I sure wish Brian Callahan was as good a coach on Sundays as he is during the week with the media and explaining things to us, because he sure seems to get it, and he sure seems interested in explaining things to us. Well, Mike McCoy's not interested in explaining jack. And that's really frustrating. And he is completely out of the consideration for January. That's the good news here. There is a negative 10 billion% chance the team even remotely considers him for the job going forward. Thank God. I can't with this guy. He is very bad at this.
Yeah, I'm at now 63 for my Mike and the Countdown days until Mike McCoy is gone. And so
Mike and the Countdown.
I mean, I don't understand how you could answer a string of questions so poorly. Because, Easton, how many times have the Titans run a quarterback sneak this season with Cam Ward?
One.
What happened on that play?
They got a first down.
It was ugly. Don't get me wrong. It was. But it worked. Because why? Because it's the most successful play in football.
Thank you for bringing this up. Because I posted the video of this.
And like, for everybody else out there, it's like, oh, well, Jalen Hurts and the tush push. The quarterback sneak existed before 2022 and was the most successful play in football.
It was still really effective.
Before Dallas Goedert's crazy ass kept pushing Jalen Hurts behind Travis Kelce's crazy ass. So,
yes.
Again, the most undervalued, underrated aspect of the Eagles' tush push is Dallas Goedert. That guy makes it happen just as much as everybody else. So
totally,
I don't care about that. It's a quarterback sneak. The Chargers did it 3 times in your face, down your throat, after you were too scared or too arrogant, too whatever to do it. And then you just dance around that and say, like,
refusing to answer the question. I posted the video of the one and only quarterback sneak, which was successful, on Twitter yesterday. We'd show it on here if YouTube wouldn't demonetize the video. So go to Easton Freeze, at Easton Freeze on Twitter, go to the videos tab, you will find it there. It is not a good play. It is a poor execution of a traditional quarterback sneak. And yet, it still gets the first down. So I got a lot of responses being like, well, this video is proof of why they don't want to do it because Cam is bad at it. Well, one, he did it once. He can be better than he was. Literally if he just gets his pad level to the proper gets lower,
Yeah.
right, and uses his leverage, he looks better there. And also the offensive line, I think, can get a better push than they did. But if the point is that this was bad, well, guess what? Their worst execution of the play still got the yard that you need. And the 1 yard that you need, last I checked, is better than the no yards they got multiple times with Wildcats and runs on 4th and 1 in this game. With the bar to clear here is 1 yard. Their worst execution of the play we want them to run still got a yard. You'd think you want to run that play and maybe just try to do it better next time.
Yep. Oh, man.
So what's the real answer here, Austin? Because he's refusing to answer the question.
Because
Because the Titans clearly don't want to run it. Why not?
I do think it's because they don't think Cam can do it successfully.
Agreed.
And that's so
Which is foolish and dumb.
Yes. So coach your quarterback to run the most successful play in NFL history.
I saw a lot of that yesterday too. Like, well, Cam's he's not built like the type of quarterbacks that typically quarterbacks sneak. What are we talking about?
Every
like,
quarterback.
Do people think the only quarterbacks in history that have successfully snuck the ball are the 6'5", 240-pound super soldiers? Because that's not true.
Yeah.
Every quarterback in history, save the very rare, like the Kylers and the Bryce Youngs of the world, are the exception to the rule of, well, with these guys, you might hesitate to sneak. Really, more of a safety thing more than it is an effectiveness thing. Like we don't want this guy to bottom the pile.
Patrick Mahomes dislocated his kneecap once on a quarterback sneak. Name another quarterback sneak injury.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Purdy
Tom Brady did
in the
all
Missouri
the time.
game this year against Vandy is the only
That
other
wasn't
time I can think of.
that was more like a quarterback power, wasn't it?
It may have been. It may have been.
And that was because limbs don't get out there like that in a quarterback sneak.
Right. Typically you're on top of the pile, not at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah. So anyway.
Right. But the point being, Cam, just because Cam is not built like Josh Allen does not mean Cam can't run a quarterback sneak. He absolutely can.
And he needs
Cam is not light in the ass.
He needs to figure it out because if you want to, he's not. If you want to have a cheat code to help your quarterback, then help him quarterback sneak because that will help him have more opportunities at points. All right, let's throw some shade. If you have some shade in the chat, bring it. Here we go. Shout out to Wilson County Hyundai. Make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon or online at wilsoncountyhyundai.com for your shade. They'll get you in that new ride. So, all right. Let's see if we got some shade coming in here now. Jimmy just says at 40 years old, Joe Flacco runs quarterback sneaks. Yeah. So.
Our buddy Evan Winter just texted me, by the way, and he went and checked because he's watching the show. The Titans have had 8 opportunities on 3rd or 4th and 1 this year. And
one quarterback
as we've already established, 1 quarterback sneak. Which
they have run more direct snaps to the running back.
Oh, excuse me, Evan. Just correction. Not 8 opportunities, 21 opportunities. 21, and they've done it once.
21 opportunities for 3rd or 4th and 1.
Yes, 21 times they've needed 1 yard, and they have run the most effective play in NFL history at getting 1 yard. One of those times in which it worked.
Yeah.
Golly,
Lucas goes, wait, that wasn't shade. Yeah,
it basically was.
Kind of. Shade on the coach not running a sneak more. Tall Texas says shade on Diego Pavia for pulling a Texas player down on him out of bounds to draw a 15-yard penalty. I did not see that, but that checks out. I don't know. Nick says throwing shade at my wife and other people who celebrate Christmas the day after Halloween ends. Also, happy birthday to my wife. Good play.
Nice.
Also, bummer on K-State not covering the points there on Saturday. And shade on the state of Michigan for snowing yesterday. Yuck.
Heck yeah.
Andre, shade on the reporters for the Titans not asking the coaches if they are scared or just incompetent. There you go, Easton. There's your next back and forth.
You want to talk about, I love when fans earnestly are like, why don't you ask and then proceed to name the least effective question in history? Like, not how it works, man. I can't walk in there and ask, why are you guys cowards and fools?
Yeah.
Because that's what you want me to ask.
Definitely.
But I can't for like 7 different reasons.
And the other K-State fan in the chat, Sharman, says, K-State had it until the last 5 minutes. Yeah, I know. I bet it. And I lost it. So I could throw shade at Gunnar Stockton for taking a knee when he could have waltzed in the end zone and hit my Florida Georgia over 50.5. But I'm not doing that.
Thank you, Gunner. Thank you.
Yeah, because you had the Gators plus the points, right?
Thank you, Gunner. Yep, I did.
So I am throwing shade at Fox Sports Knoxville, who completely took a comment out of context from our Jonathan Crompton, former Vols quarterback, who in the post-game show on the Big Orange Podcast post-game Saturday night was compared to Josh Heupel to James Franklin, saying that I think Josh Heupel is our Tennessee's version of James Franklin. And they took that half comment and blew it up on a Twitter graphic and have so many people assuming that Jonathan Crompton is calling for Josh Heupel to be fired. I was so upset and frustrated and mad at how people could not compute what was happening here that I had to call into the zone on Ramon and Will, who were having a discussion about this morning at like 6:35 a.m. And here we are.
The comparison, and I figured that Fox Sports Knoxville on social media was probably taking this out of context because there wasn't a whole lot of words that they quoted. Austin could provide more details to that. What's up, Austin? Good morning.
Hey, guys. Sorry, I got to be a little quiet in the house this morning. But, yes, this is completely engagement baiting from Fox Sports Knoxville, who has blocked our Big Orange Podcast account in the first place and taken us out of context. So I do want to clear this up because on the live post-game show, when there's a full feed of comments that are coming in after a loss to Oklahoma that you guys are well aware of, people calling for the coach's job, and Crompton says, I'm not calling for anybody's job. That's not my thing.
Right.
I don't think he should be fired at all, but I think he could be our James Franklin. He's talking about the whole helping the program out of the dumpster both ways. Penn State from the Sandusky carryover and all of those recruiting limitations and all the violations that they dealt with, and the same thing that Heupel was doing here, getting them to a high floor and a very high ceiling, but not the ceiling to the top. And he wasn't saying he should be fired. He wasn't. He was projecting about making this program and keeping it relevant for a long time, but maybe having some growing frustration down the road when it can't get to that very top point. And we've seen that all across college football. So that's all it was. And it's just being completely blown out of proportion.
That's fair. Thank you, Austin. Good stuff.
See you guys.
All right. Austin Stanley, AtoZSports.
Stanley. Thanks for the call.
So there you go. I had to call on and do that because it's ridiculous. So Josh Heupel might be Tennessee's James Franklin, which is not a bad thing because that means you're consistently winning 9-10 games for a decade plus, and maybe you can't get to the ultimate one. And so for the people that are also calling out Jonathan Crompton for being one of the worst quarterbacks in Tennessee history, he was on one of the worst offenses in Tennessee history in an unfortunate situation, but he also turned around and threw 27 touchdown passes in his last season at Tennessee with Lane Kiffin and was able to be all SEC quarterback and got drafted. So he was a little bit, and hell, he says Garantano was better than Crompton. No, he was not. Go look at the stats. Go look at the stats.
Oh, brother.
And Bork says phone voice Austin has a different sound. No, it was. That was just 6:30 a.m. with the house quiet.
That's right.
Voice.
I was sound asleep, by the way. I'm gonna let that shade stand, and I'm gonna let my shade on Mike McCoy stand on its own. I don't feel the need to add any additional shade for the day.
Fair enough. All right.
Mike McCoy.
That is all. We will talk to you guys tomorrow. We'll see what happens with the trade deadline. Easton will be live tonight for prime time.
That's right.
And we'll catch you guys tomorrow morning to see what happens at the deadline. Like the show, subscribe to the channel as well. We'll catch you guys then. Appreciate it as always.